I've been in Sydney this weekend, James, and everywhere I go...
It stinks.
Well, you've got your bin issues,
yes.
But the other issue is just these LGBTQIA plus flags, signage, the Opera House lit up. I mean, it is everywhere. You cannot mistake that it's a celebration of pride.
Well, yeah, except, it's also like a Ratatouille pride here, too, because it's like the bins are overflowing. So the whole time that Clover Moore and the City Council here are doing all of their, stuff, celebrating pride and changing all the street signs and painting rainbow intersections and all of that stuff, well, you know what they're not doing? They're not picking up the trash, which is the basic mission of a council. But this is the absolute apex. This is the Mount Olympus of virtue signaling for Clover Moore, who has been mayor of the city of Sydney for far too long. And it is ironic that under her management, you've got this whole huge World Pride exposition coming to Sydney, bringing in all of these people, all of this tourism, all of this celebration with flags and this and that and the other thing. And what do they find? They find piles of trash. And the other thing that they find that's happened under Clover Moore's management of Sydney, Oxford Street, which used to be, of course, this hugely vibrant shopping commercial strip, and also the heart of, the gay community there, has been completely run down. It's all boarded up storefronts. It's an economic catastrophe. Yeah. And that is the image of Sydney that we're bringing to all of these people who are coming over here to check it out. So, well done, Clover Moore. My hat's off to you. Or should I say my rat's off to you, because that is what is being attracted by all of these sacks of trash.
And I've noticed that there has been this subtle switch from the rainbow flag to this new LGBTQIA plus flag, which is some people see as more of a political flag as opposed to just something that signifies acceptance.
There was an interesting article in the Sydney Morning Herald about a week ago where a gay columnist said, look, the whole gay movement, we just wanted to be perceived like everybody else, but the whole Mardi Gras thing's gone too far, where we just want to live our lives, but this is pushing it way beyond that. I couldn't even order an Uber last night without my Uber icon on the screen being a gay Uber icon as well. It's just everywhere. But back to James's points, I mean, rates, roads and rubbish, that's all we elect councils to do. And it's not just with the Mardi Gras, but on 2GB during the week, one of the Sydney councillors, Yvonne Weldon, was asked to explain why 32,000 rubbish bins have not been emptied. But before she talked about that, she wanted to say that it was the anniversary of James Cook's death and make a point on that. So we've got councils that are more interested in virtue signalling than doing what they're actually elected to do, and the city's suffering for
And actually, here's the crazy thing about that. That council you're talking about, Yvonne Weldon, is one of the sensible ones on the city of Sydney. Yes, because she's actually been one of the ones who's been pushing to get the trash picked up. And so, even she's the one...
Yeah, but she was on radio to discuss that very issue.
Yes, I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. This is how bad it is, Rita. This is how ridiculous the whole thing is.
Because the roads are a mess too in the CBD. Yeah. It is just, even on weekends, it is absolute mayhem. You can't move. Like, it's so hostile to vehicles. If you drive, why would you drive into?
Well, this is a fascinating thing that you pick up too, because this is something that's happening across the country. Because Australia has signed up to basically UN conventions on traffic, which means that they're pushing all of these 40-kilometre speed zones everywhere, including on the Prince's Highway, which is outside of the jurisdiction of the City of Sydney Council. But it is a whole entire. I mean, this is a whole subject we could do a 2-hour show on, which is the left's war on motorists, the left's war on personal freedom of movement. That's where this is all going, with the speed limits, with the electric vehicles, And then you're going to see, oh, well, the electric vehicles, an awful lot of lithium there, Maybe you should just, take the People's Omnibus or whatever it is that they're going to have for us.
Well, the other thing no one's talking about is the electric vehicles are that much heavier, the effect that they'll have on roads that are already being left unkempt. But the other thing for viewers outside of Sydney, they might not realise ratepayers are actually paying for their own rubbish to be taken away when they're also paying rates to council who are meant to do that. So Sydney ratepayers are pretty upset about this.
Well, you know what? They could vote differently. That would be a suggestion. I mean, at some point, your sympathy runs out because they keep re-electing these plans.
That's crazy talk, Rita.
Oh, well, sorry. Now,